completos. Let's start with today's class. Today is the second class of the week, la segunda clase de la semana. Okay, so yesterday we finished the topic. We finished the class talking about the case that we watched about the Law and Order, right? Because that is this week topic, crime and punishment. So today we're gonna continue with I'm sharing the screen with you, so maybe you can see what we're gonna be doing now. So let me know when you're able to see the presentation, please. Oops. Can you know? Okay, so it says, make the punishment fit the crime. Because what is the punishment? Yesterday we were talking about the crime, which is the action of doing something illegal, right? So what is a punishment? On the other hand, we have the punishments. What is a punishment? What comes to your mind when you hear the word punishment?
Puede ser el castigo
Yes, exactly.
que
That
se
is
le
punishment.
otorga.
That is the punishment, el castigo. So here we have a crime, then this criminal gets arrested and goes to the jury to receive a punishment, right? To receive a sentence, a recibir una sentencia o el castigo. Okay, so we're gonna read this first paragraph. I'm gonna ask Michelle, can you help me to read it, please? This paragraph, a man is caught.
¿Cuál, teacher?
Here, the
¿El
first
primero?
one.
Ah, okay. A man is caught stealing books from a bookstore. The judge asks why he did it, and the thief says he loves books. What is the main punishment? A prison sentence? A big fine? No, the man is sent to read stories and books to the hospital patients. He enjoys the job and continues to do it for many years. Welcome to the alternative sentencing programs. Instead of traditional punishment, criminals get the punishments that fit their crimes.
Okay, so this is very interesting because it says in here, criminals get the punishments that fit their crimes. What does this mean? Can someone explain me what is the meaning of this? I mean that the criminal receives a punishment that fit their crime. What is it?
¿Cuál es la sentencia del jurado, maestra? Dijo.
So it says in here that instead of giving traditional punishment, can you give me or can you mention examples of traditional punishments?
In Mexico, I think no exists, but in United States, the people who do something is illegal need to clean the city.
Okay, like service, social service, something like that, right? Okay, so that could be a traditional punishment, right? Or as it says in here. Okay, let's review the words we have in this paragraph in bold. The first one, I have a thief. What is a thief?
Cuando lo detuvieron.
A thief.
O el robo.
A thief es un ladrón. Es una persona que roba. That is a thief. Then we have a prison sentence. What is a prison sentence?
La sentencia, maestra.
La sentencia, right? En prisión. O sea, ya cuando estás dentro de la prisión, o sea, the time you spend in prison. fine. What is a fine? Obviously, I know that fine is, oh, I'm fine, thanks. Yes, that is a way we use fine. But in this context, talking about crimes, punishments, and that, what is a fine?
Like a benefits.
Like a what, sorry?
Benefits.
A fine
Una
es
multa.
una multa. Ajá. En este contexto, a fine pues es una multa, el dinero que tú pagas, suponiendo hay ciertas cosas ilegales. There are certain illegal things that you can pay and get out of jail, right? You don't have to be in prison and you pay a big amount of money and that is enough. It depends on the crime, of course, right? But well, it says in here that these are like the common punishments, right? Prison sentence, fines, or as Anna mentioned, social service. But well, it says in here that this is a new alternative, which is called sentencing programs. And they give the criminal a punishment related to what he or she did. So I mean, they're not gonna be in jail because maybe the crime they did was not that big enough to be in jail. So they're gonna receive a different punishment. Van a recibir un castigo diferente. Okay, so let's read this where it says what other examples, and I'm gonna ask Anna. Can you help me to read it? What other examples? That paragraph.
Okay, that another one.
What other examples?
Another example. Maybe.
Read, to read, leer.
Okay.
Can you read this paragraph? What other
Okay. What another example of alternative sentencing are there? Two boys were caught writing graffiti on the wall. The normal punishment for this is a fine. But in this case, the boys were told that to do community service. They cleaned 70 walls in 3 weeks.
Okay, so this is similar or something as you mentioned, right? That in the United States, so they do community service, social service. So as you can see, these people, these boys were caught writing graffiti, right? They were caught, which is something illegal. I mean, you are not allowed to do it. No está permitido hacerlo. So since they were caught, uh, the normal punishment for this type of thing is that you pay a fine, the multa, right? But it says that in that case, instead of the boy, paying the fine, they had to do community service. In other words, they had to clean 70 walls in 3 weeks. So obviously that they have the time. They tell you, they assign you the punishment and they give you the time for it to be concluded. O sea, se tiene que concluir in certain time. In this case, there were 3 weeks. So they had to clean, which means probably paint, 70 walls, which is pretty interesting. And I'm pretty sure that these boys learned a lesson, right? Okay, so now let's go to the shoplifter. Okay, so before we go to the next one, let's check the words we have in bold in here. I have writing graffiti, pues que es grafitear, right? And then I have community service, pues que es a service to the community service, servicio a la comunidad. Okay, so now let's read this. A shoplifter was caught. I'm gonna ask Alexis, can you read it, please?
A, a shoplifter was caught shoplifting 3 times in 1 year in a small town in the United States. What was her punishment? She was sent to speak to store owners. She gave advice on how to stop shoplifter. In 1 month, she spoke to the owners of 40 stores and told them about the techniques that shoplifters use. It was a great service to the community because after that shop, shoplifting almost disap- disappeared from the town.
I was mute, sorry. What is shoplifting? Have you heard that word? What is shoplifting? No? Ok, shoplifting es los que roban pero en tienda. Well, a shoplifter, pues es la persona. Shoplifting es la acción, ¿no? A eso se le llama a las personas que roban en tiendas, which is actually very common, especially in the United States. There are big stores and department stores and that. So the people who steal in stores, they are called shoplifters. In the action of doing it, I mean, that is called shoplifting. So a shoplifter, a person who was stealing in a shop, in a store, was caught 3 times in 1 year in a small town. So that is a lot for being a person who was caught once or twice. I mean, 3 times it's a lot. So what was the punishment here? So she was sent to every single store in that town, telling the owners of the stores, giving advices on how shoplifters steal, right? O sea, dándoles consejos de cómo es que los shoplifters roban en las tiendas. So how to find them, how to stop them, what to do if you don't want shoplifters in your store. So that was her punishment. She spent a month speaking to the owners of 40 stores, and she had to tell them her techniques to steal and the techniques that most shoplifters use. And it was great because it says in here that shoplifting almost disappeared, which means that since she gave or revealed maybe most of her secrets for shoplifting, so that's why the owners of the stores could kind of find or stop the shoplifters. So it is pretty interesting, right? And imagine, because this person should be very ashamed. Imagine like you, a shoplifter, going to the owners and tell them, I'm a shoplifter and I'm gonna show you how to find them. Have you seen this movie, Catch Me If You Can? Leonardo DiCaprio is the main character. Have you seen it? ¿La han visto? Catch Me If You Can.
Teacher,
Huh?
in the Instagram, in the one store here in Hermosillo,
Uh-huh.
maybe the last week, some person pay with a $15 bill,
Okay.
and she go,
So,
but she make the same thing in another stores, but in another store look the video, and she say, oh, I don't know, maybe it's my sister,
okay.
and leave the things and go outside.
So nothing happened to her?
No, I think so. No.
I think that shoplifters are kind of experts. Son como expertos because it's not easy just to go and take the things. I mean, you have to be careful that nobody sees you, that nobody gets you, that at the door nothing is gonna ring. And so it's something not that simple, right? So I was telling you, have you seen the movie Catch Me If You Can? ¿Han visto la película de Atrápame si puedes? Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you remember? No? Okay, the ones who have seen it. Do you remember what was his punishment at the end?
Uh, how many times is catching to him?
Well, they were trying to get him, right? They were trying to get him almost all the movie. But at the end, he was kind of forgiven. But do you remember what was his punishment? ¿Te acuerdas cuál fue su castigo al final?
No, no me acuerdo cuál fue el
Okay,
castigo.
for the ones who haven't seen this movie, I'm gonna get you in context. I'm gonna super summarize it. So it was this person who was very young. He was actually about to enter university, college. So the first day he got into college, he didn't feel good. I mean, he didn't want to study. So that was the first time he pretended to be someone else. So he pretended to be the teacher the first day of school. So then he continued pretending to be other people, such as pilot, doctor, and many other occupations. And then he invented money. I mean, he created, not he didn't invent anything. He created money, fake money, of course. But well, not the money. It was how was this called? The cheques. He made this, and it, obviously it was fake. Obviamente era falso, right? So at the end, al final, pues lo atraparon, and the punishment for him was that he had to identify all of these fake bills and fake um, sorry, and to find all of the things that criminals do. O sea, él tenía que identificar how to identify checks, how to identify fake money, and that. Ese fue su castigo. And he had to work for the police, right? Tenía que trabajar para la policía. He didn't receive money or nothing, but that was his punishment. Something like this happened to this person. And this is true. I mean, it's not a story. The movie, yes, is a story, but what we're reading is true. Okay, so let's go and read the third paragraph and the last one. Robin, can you help me? What about more serious crimes?
Yes, teacher. What about more serious crimes? Is alternative sentencing possible for crimes like theft or credit card fraud? It depends on many things. Who are the criminals? Are they young? Is this their first crime? Can they change their way of life? On recent story suggests it is possible. Dave stole 17 cans of paint. Instead of going to prison, he was told to spend several weeks painting local schools, a library, and other public buildings. He enjoys the work and now it's his hobby.
Thank you. So here we're talking about more serious crimes, right? Because obviously shoplifting or graffiti, it's not that serious. I mean, you can pay a fine or these type of services and everything is gonna be okay, at least for once, right? So, what about theft? O sea, ya robar, pero shoplifting, por ejemplo, pues es robar cosas en tienda. Pero ya theft, pues ya es robar, entrar a una casa, when you break into a house, when you go to a bank, when you break in a bank or things like that, well, that is theft. Or fraud, a card fraud. So, when you get like cuando duplicas las tarjetas, when you duplicate the cards or things like that, when you steal the identity of someone, well,
Tarjetero.
those are more serious crimes, right? So it says in here that it depends on the age of the person. It depends if it is the first or the second or the third crime. So obviously it will vary. And if they see you, you can change your way of life. I mean, it depends on that. If it is your first crime, probably they're gonna give you another punishment before going to jail. uh, one recent story suggests it is possible. It says in here, a thief stole 17 cans of paint. Okay. Instead of going to prison, he was told to spend several weeks painting local schools, a library, and public buildings. And it's in here that he enjoyed the work and now it is his job. So from these criminal stories, we can get happy endings, right? So what do you think, guys? Do you think it is a good idea to receive punishments related to your crime, or you think that they all have to pay a fine or get into jail? What do you think?
I don't know why in Mexico can do community service.
Okay. So to be honest, I didn't know it didn't exist, but I'm not surprised. Maybe who is in charge? Who is in charge of giving the or on accepting laws and that? Is it the president or well, I don't know who is in charge of it, but it could be a good idea to suggest it. So now about this type of punishments, do you agree with them? You think it's a good idea, or what would you do if it was in your hands?
In which one?
In general,
¿De qué, profe? Perdón.
if it was in your hands to give a punishment to a criminal, do you agree with this type of punishments? ¿Están de acuerdo con ese tipo de castigos? Or what would you do to the people who steal, to the people who write graffiti, or to the people who shoplift?
I agree.
You agree? Okay. And the rest of you guys? You're very quiet.
Yes, igual.
You agree. Okay. Well, thank you. So then let's go to questions. These questions are related to what we just read. And it says, read the introduction and answer the questions. What did the man do wrong? What was his punishment and what is alternative sentence? Okay, so what did the man do wrong? Let's go. We're gonna go back to read it quick again. So it says, a man is caught stealing books from a bookstore. The judge asks why he didn't, and a thief say he loves book. What is the man punishment? A prison sentence? A big fine? No, the man is sent to read stories and books to hospital patients, and he enjoys the job and continues to do it for many years. Now, let's talk about that person. What did the man do wrong? What did
Stole the book.
stole books, right? He stole books. What was his punishment?
Go for the people and tell about the. No, read the books.
Read books in hospitals, schools, and that. And it says at the end that he enjoyed doing that a lot, that he continued doing it actually even more than the time he was assigned to do it.
Teacher,
Now,
perdón, ¿qué era? What is punishment? Punishment?
punishment
Se me
is
olvidó.
castigo.
Ah,
Okay? This type of, I mean, this word punishment entra en cualquier tipo de contexto. Por ejemplo, pues puede ser un castigo legal o puede ser un castigo de que en tu casa, oh, I received a punishment, me castigaron, por ejemplo, no, I was punished. También aplica ahí. Okay, what is alternative sentencing? Based on what we read, according to what we read, what can you tell me about this? Can you explain me what is an alternative sentencing?
Another option.
Another option of what? Can you be more specific?
About punishment.
Okay. Related to what you did, right? So it's options of punishments related to your crime. Because it actually makes sense. I mean, if you were caught shoplifting, it doesn't make that much sense that they make you paint a school, for example, or clean a street. it is better if you do something related to what you did so you can learn the lesson in a better way, right? Okay, so it says in here, what alternative punishments can you think of the crimes in exercise one? Okay, so let's try to think on different punishments, different from the ones we just read. So for the one of the graffiti, it says in here, you should spend a month painting the walls of hospitals and libraries, etc., with no pay. For speeding, okay, well, now, so we were talking about graffiti, right? We already mentioned it, and the punishment for that person was cleaning 70 walls. What could be another good punishment for this person, for the one who was caught writing graffiti? Think about a good punishment.
For the spelling,
No, for the one writing graffiti.
I think is good. They paint all the schools.
Okay, paint the schools. That could be a good idea. And what about the shoplifter? What could be another a good punishment for the shoplifter, para la de la tienda? Mixi?
Es que no sé cómo decir que es um, que pague una fianza.
Pay a fine. Pay,
No sé.
pay a fine.
Ajá.
Good. What else?
Y firme un contrato. O no, perdón, un contrato, no, un acuerdo en que no se volverá a cometer dicho delito. Digo, pensando que es en otro país, ¿no?
Okay, sign a contract. Well, not a contract, or sign a document where this person is going to say that it's never gonna do it again and pay the fine. The thing is that if you remember, Mixi, this was the third time she was caught. Era la tercera vez que la atrapaban. So maybe could be a good idea. I don't know, that comes here. Do you have another one? I want to hear you. Maybe you have a similar to the one I'm thinking.
¿Y si le damos toques en las manos?
Ok. Bien, ¿cómo se llama el candidato de Nuevo León?
El Bronco.
El Bronco. Que le corte las manos. Ok. Electricity shocks like that. Okay, maybe. I was thinking maybe this person should work in a store with no pay and with the camera behind her all the time. O sea, que la estén grabando siempre and she has to work for a certain time with no pay and nothing. I don't know, maybe that could be, she could suffer. Okay, and the third one, the one of the, what was the last one?
El tarjetero, maestro.
Yes. Ah, no, el último caso, estos son ejemplos. El último caso fue el que se robó la pintura y lo pusieron a pintar. So what could be another punishment for the one who was caught stealing cans of paint?
Maybe the big fine are that he pay too much pintura para las escuelas o algo así.
Donate paint for schools, okay? Could be a good idea. And maybe that could work. I mean, because as it says at the end, that some people love their punishment, that they actually made it something real. For example, the one of the books continued going to the hospitals and that, and the one of the paint continued painting. I mean, he made it part of him, right? Okay, so now it says in here, let's match it says crime and punishment. Match the words involved from the text in exercise 2 with the definition. So a person who steals things, it is a thief. Time that is spent in prison, what is it? Do you
Criminal.
remember? Huh? What did you say, Michelle?
Criminal.
No, the time. We're talking about the time
No.
that is spent in prison. A ver,
Sentence.
sí, ajá. Para que se acuerden un poquito más, las palabras en negrita son thief, a prison sentence, fine, writing graffiti, community service, shoplifter, shoplifting, fraud, and theft. Esas son las palabras en negritas. These are the words that we have to match here. So the first one is a person who steals things is a thief. Time spent in prison, dijimos que era prison sentence, right? I'm gonna write it. Okay, writing or drawing on public walls, doors, etc. What is this? Writing or drawing on public walls, doors, etc.
Writing graffiti.
Very good. Writing graffiti. Number 4, doing unpaid work to help your town or city. What is this? Doing
Community service.
community service. Very good. Number 5, stealing things. How is the action called? ¿Cómo se le llama a la acción de robar cosas? No a la persona, a la acción.
Shoplifting.
Pero hablamos de cosas en general, not in a store.
Shoplift.
Recuerden que a shoplifter es de una tienda, o sea, de tiendas. Y es
Steal.
en general. ¿Cómo, perdón?
Ok.
Steal.
Steal es el verbo, ajá. Pero bueno, no sé si no me estoy dando entender. Es a theft, un robo. Stealing things, ¿qué es stealing things? ¿Qué es robar cosas? A theft, un robo. A theft es un robo. Now, a person who steals things from stores.
Shoplift.
Shoplifter. Ajá. Shoplifter. Cheating someone to make money from them. How is this called? Cheating someone. Engañar a alguien to make money from them. Para hacer dinero de ellos.
Fraud.
Fraud. Very good. 8. Stealing things from a store. ¿Cómo se le llama a la, cuando se roban cosas de una tienda?
Shop.
Persona.
Ah, ok.
Shoplifting.
Shoplifting. Ajá, very good. And the last one, an amount of money that you have to pay. The money you pay.
Fine.
Fine, very good. A fine.
What
No.
is fine, teacher?
Huh?
What is fine?
Una multa.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So it says, put the words in the correct place in the table. Les voy a dar 2 minutos para que, bueno, vamos a hacerlo juntos porque ya nomás nos quedan 4 de aquí para no iniciar otra. Criminal, ok, las personas. A thief is a criminal, a crime, and a punishment. What else or who else is a criminal? From these words, de estas palabras. Vamos a acomodar estas palabras en estas categorías. We have criminal, crime, and punishment. Who else is a criminal?
Shopping.
Lifter, very good. Shoplifter. Crime. What are crimes?
Fraud.
¿Dónde está? Fraud, ok.
Fraud.
Fraud, ajá. ¿Qué más?
Shoplifting.
Shoplifting, ¿qué más?
Steal things.
¿Cuál, perdón?
Stealing things.
Writing graffiti or shop. No escuché, sorry. Writing,
Stealing things.
stealing things. ¿Eso dijiste?
Sí, teacher.
Sí, sorry. Es que, pero estamos usando las palabras que están aquí. Las respuestas. Ok, fraud, shoplifting, writing graffiti. Me falta una. ¿A cuál? Bueno, me faltan dos. Theft. Ajá, ahora sí, me falta una. Ah, no, ahí está ya, ¿verdad? ¿Y punishment?
Fine.
Fine, and what else?
Prison sentence,
Prison sentence, what else?
community service,
Community service, very good. Okay, questions about this? ¿Preguntas sobre este vocabulario?
no teacher.
No? Okay. So basically that's it for today. Tomorrow we're gonna finish our class, our unit with grammar. Mañana vamos a ver gramática and we're gonna finish our topic of the week. I'm gonna take a sentence real quick because I know that not all of you are here. Alexia is here.
Mande.
Alexia.
Monday.
Ah, okay. I'm taking attendance. Robin.
Here,
Judith. Judith is not here, right? Elizabeth.
Present.
Alejandra.
Present.
Mixie.
Present.
And Alexis.
Present.
There we go. Okay, thank you guys for being here today. I'm gonna see you tomorrow to finish our week. Okay, have a nice day and see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, teacher.